All right, welcome to 2.5 Investors Podcast. How y'all feeling?
Great.
I feel pretty good.
Well, no, I lied. This shit look regular. It look crazy today in September. I don't like it.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Tell us your thoughts.
We red, big red.
Are we?
Yeah, the what's the job thing just came out?
Job report.
Yeah, the job report came out for what, August?
Yep, for the month of August.
2,037. 200,000.
235,000.
235,000 jobs. Fill me in.
So the report came out that 235,000 jobs has increased to the U.S. economy for the month of August, bringing the rate down to 5.2% unemployment, the lowest it's been, since the pandemic.
So how do y'all think this will affect the market? What do y'all think about the economy as whole as well?
I think that we're seeing a direct result in the market currently, amongst other things. But the market is red, big red, in Antwain's or Smurf's term.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to be interesting how it plays out into this coming week.
Do y'all think about the miss that we had? Because the expectations was that, we would have a better jobs report. This was actually a bad jobs report.
235,000 jobs added was bad.
Yeah.
What was the expectation? I don't know what
the expectation was.
Seven.
Over 700,000.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, that was the crazy part.
Yeah.
They expected that much?
Yeah.
That much.
So what's interesting about that? We was just looking at an article offline about unemployment is about to subside.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, tomorrow, September the 4th.
Subside. That's a big ass word. What do you mean?
So it's coming to a halt.
Okay.
To make it simple.
Ooh.
And you saying that we missed it badly. That's
right.
terrible. That's a huge miss. That's only 1/3 out of what was expected.
Right.
And coupled with the aid being cut off from the government,
right.
of unemployment, I think we're in for some bad times.
Who's in for bad times? Is investors in for bad times? That's the question.
Great question.
Because when we were on live earlier, we said a good jobs report would be maybe bad for the market. We had a bad jobs report.
And yet the market is still red, or has turned red, because in pre-market.
The market already would. The market, you can say it's red, yes, but it's not like terrible red.
What's the I thought the S&P and things were down.
The S&P was down, the Dow was down, the NASDAQ was down, but it's not, it's not major.
So they really not reacting.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like it's more of an influx. It seems like investors are confused.
Yeah. So we just running around with our heads cut off, basically.
Right.
Okay.
I don't really feel as though the report did anything to boost the market, but I don't really feel like it tainted the market as well.
So how you think it'll play as we proceed forward in light of the aid that I just mentioned being cut off, coupled with enough jobs being filled or added to
as
the U.S.
investor or just on the economy?
No, as a investor, because consumers need money to spend, right? And if they need money as a direct result, companies benefit from consumer spending. But if the consumer doesn't have a job and aid from the government, how does that affect the market from your perspective?
Yeah, but the economy, I get what you're saying because the aid. I don't really. I feel like this is more of a hit to the economy more so than it is a hit to the stock market. I feel like those are two different. They don't always correlate.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mhm.
With that being said, I think the huge question I have is, what does the Federal Reserve do and what does Jerome Powell do? Do they continue to aid the economy further because the slow recovery that we're still having?
He need to do another live. He hot. Now he
Jerome
don't want to
Powell?
do no calls. Pow. When he at? All this happening.
Congress is out on break.
Vacation?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a break of the session.
Okay.
They don't come back to the 20th.
Ooh, that's a long time.
Underachieving jobs report, coupled with unemployment being cut off, inflation spiking, and disasters, natural disaster, Hurricane Ida, hitting, doing a lot of damage, a lot more than what was originally reported just in Louisiana. It's gone up. Hit the East Coast pretty badly. New York and New Jersey has been underwater, so to speak. It hit Annapolis, Maryland. All of that coupled with all of those components, I think, makes for an interesting incoming week.
Next week.
Yeah.
As for investors or
For investors.
That's interesting. It's a lot of things happening. What you call it? The swelling. Would you say? But I want to touch on. I want to ask something. If the job report was low, right? But the wages are up, that means that the economy is doing well.
When you say the wages are, what do you mean? What wages? Employees' wages?
Yes.
I wouldn't say that means the economy's doing well. I think that means they need to attract more workers. If it's less people working and I need workers, I have to attract them. The only way I can attract them is by paying them more benefits. So that's the direct correlation right there.
So is the job report, is it good for the people? Or because how I look at it, I mean, when you got this job report going on, it looked like you could easily get a job now because the unemployment is getting.
I mean, well, yeah, you can easily, quote unquote, easily get a job. Whether people sign up for those jobs is a whole nother story.
That's cool. Yeah, that's true.
That's a whole nother story. I feel as though the pandemic changed a lot of people's perspective on
9 to 5s.
9 to 5s and proper payment of those 9 to 5s. With that being said, we had a lot of government aid. So when that government aid starts to be drawn in,
Like it is,
then we see the effects of what people actually going to continue to do or change their perspectives in the near future.
So that's why the job report prediction was so high, because of.
Well, I think. See, this can be very political. So
Okay.
So if I'm Biden, right?
go ahead. You about to explain.
And I'm pushing Build America Back, blah, 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 right? My expectations is me build America back with the jobs reports and lowering unemployment, which unemployment did go down. But I think it was a report that black unemployment actually went up 0.6%.
Yeah.
So, if if that's my agenda, if that's my focus point,
Mm-hmm.
and I may be shooting for the stars. If we shooting for 1,000 subscribers and we only have 100 subscribers, let's just say,
Mm-hmm.
then my expectations may be that, but what actually is a whole nother. So I believe this administration expectations was to build back America faster than what actually is happening.
So let me ask you this, in light of you saying that. A $1.2 trillion budget has been just signed into law, or prior to the breaking session of Congress. Another 3.5 trillion is on the table. When we talk
On
about
the table for what?
to be signed into law,
What's the law?
the spending, the
bill?
budget. It's a budget.
Okay.
It's a budget bill. I'm sorry, to apply to the U.S. economy. To build back better, right? So the jobs are out there, or should be out there, because all this government funding, it goes of this first bill that's already been passed, is going directly to the infrastructure of building the U.S. economy back. So the jobs are there, the money is there. You're saying that the people are not necessarily there.
As far as jobs?
Yeah, the people are not signing on to.
Yeah.
That was good.
I believe that an overall sentiment of jobs. See, if I gotta eat, everybody has to eat, right?
I eat one time a day, but go ahead.
Yeah, but you eat, right? So, if I gotta eat, and it comes to a point where what's gonna get me fed? If I can rely on the government to help feed me, then I may do that. If I can rely on a job to help feed me, then I may do that. Or I may rely on myself to help feed me as far as owning my own business or investing. So I believe in the pandemic, all three of those things happened and it all combined. So it's a pre-pandemic economy, then it's a post-pandemic economy. Right now we are in the quote-unquote post-pandemic economy. And I just feel as though people's perspective has changed on jobs.
So the aid has been cut, right? Kind of forced, but the work is there, right? The opportunity to get the job is there,
Right.
right? Moving forward, you're saying that people going to do, and we always have done what's best for us, whether it's getting a job because it's paying the bills or receiving assistance because it's paying the bills. How does this infrastructure bill, do you see this infrastructure bill affecting the investing dollars? Because people not filling the jobs, so it's almost like what I see, right? If people are not filling these jobs,
and also just for full clarification, it's not always about filling the jobs, but jobs shifting. So if I was a Burger King worker and I just got sick and tired of Burger King,
I'm glad you clarifying this.
Now I'm going into a different field, and let's say I'm doing call center now, a call center job,
right,
where I'm more happier, healthier, whatever the case may be. So it's not always about, it's a shift that's happening. That's
right.
what I'm really trying to illustrate.
Right. Thank you for that clarity. So as a result, if the shift is taking place, what I perceive to be happening, and you just illustrated and illuminated on, what happens to those businesses that are not being filled? Those positions are not being filled.
You asking me?
I'm putting it on the table.
I mean, it's either one or two things that can happen. Either, which we have already seen this happening. Either we can go out of business, or we can start grouping in jobs. So if I'm a cashier, now I may be the cashier and the janitor. And to lower my, because that doesn't always mean customers aren't coming in. Just because just because there's less workers doesn't mean there's less customers.
Right.
So if I can still fund my business, that's what matters.
Now I want to go somewhere with you right now before Antwain interject. We mentioned the job shifting. We mentioned just now about the potential shortage in positions in other jobs, right? How do you see all this money has been allotted to this infrastructure? How do you see that affecting the economy moving forward from investing dollars? Because things are shifting while other things are kind of, I don't want to say eroding, but dying away, so to speak.
Yeah,
or potentially dying away.
I'm not educated or informed enough about the infrastructure bill to really comment on it.
Well, it's providing, it's a lot of money is going to, like you said, to shifting things from a technological. So like you say, I may have once been underpaid or whatever through Burger King. Now I see an opportunity for me to be a call center worker, etc.
So I think where the money goes is where people go.
So it's opportunity.
So back in the when the Industrial Revolution was happening, we had all these factory workers. We even had kids working in the factories.
Right.
Once we shipped the factories over to overseas and it became less and less factory jobs, people may have had trouble finding work. People may have not had trouble finding work. But at the end of the day, America just shifted the way it worked.
Right.
And I feel like that's what's happening now.
Do you know what happened to the economy during that time?
What you mean?
Do you know what happened during the U.S. economy during that time when that shift happened? The reason I ask that is because most times you can look to the past to kind of see where we're going at or see a direct correlation of what's happening in the present / shifting towards the future.
I'm not. No.
So the middle class was wiped out during that time, right?
That's subjective, but go ahead.
Well, that's the narrative, that the middle class has been wiped out. A lot of factory jobs was taken away. That's factual. As far as the good paying jobs or medium / households and income. Go ahead.
What time period are you talking about?
We're talking about the 70s, 80s that you were talking about.
The 70s.
Oh, okay, when you say that.
1800s?
Yeah,
when you say that the jobs was
1800s,
early shift 1900s. Overseas. When you said that the job would shift overseas, I thought you were referring to during that time.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I was referring to late 1800s, early 1900s. I get why you thought that.
Yeah, my bad. I misunderstood you.
I did say overseas.
Yeah.
I was just watching a Netflix show about what you was just talking about. I forgot what it's called, but people was getting their food from like a vending machine or whatever, and then it got changed over to markets and the meat in the packages and stuff like that. So it's definitely like a big change, and as you see it now.
But even with that, in the late 1800s, early 1900s, when technology started to ramp up and they started getting more. We talk about robots now, but then it was kind of this mechanical system that they was putting in place where you had, let's say, 20 people packaging. Now you only needed 5-10 people packaging. So what happens to the next 5-10 people? I mean, the 5-10 people that was laid off.
Right.
they either got to shift or they just,
So does that hurt?
flux.
Does that hurt the economy in any way? Do we see a direct impact from the economy because of the shift?
The-
Like, does
I think
Go
I
ahead.
think it. See, we living in a more technological, evolved world.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, more people could shift back then because it was more physical labor jobs.
the
Yeah.
need for people were
Yeah.
more okay?
The need for people were greater.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need us.
Now, let's say if I'm a factory worker, right, and I just got laid off, the 5-10 people that just got laid off,
Right.
now it's time for us to shift. Let's go into, I'll just keep using the call centers. Let's let's go into the call center industry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you got automated call centers and automated answering machines.
Yeah,
But-
press
but-
one.
So
Look.
press one. So okay, I can't shift there. Where do I? All right, so let me become a cashier. Well, they got automated registers. So
Shout out to Walmart.
it's. I think it's gonna be. I think we're gonna see the economy and jobs continue to shift. It's just, to me, how much can we continue to shift?
Yeah.
with,
Right.
with
Just-
this tech evolving as fast as it is.
So, and thank you for bringing that up, because what I more so want to know is how does it impact or affect the investor?
I feel it like I keep saying. The economy doesn't always correlate with the stock market. With that being said, if the Federal Reserve comes in and be like, the economy is great now, I can lift my
Here we go.
hands off of it. I
Okay,
can lift my
okay.
fingers off of it. Then we'll start to see it affect the stock market.
Got you.
Because interest rates will go up, things like that.
Yeah, thanks for that clarity.
I just feel as though, when the pandemic happened and, people is jobless and now they finding their own way to make money and things like that. And now that you see that they try and bring the jobs back, I think people got so comfortable making money at home that they not going to want to walk into a building and punch in or clock in.
Most definitely. I feel as though, again, I'm going to keep using the call centers. If I feel as though I could just wake up, answer the phones, not have to get out, go into this crazy world every single day, why not? Why not? If I can, and not only that, but they may pay me more.
They may pay you more.
They may pay me more. If I'm working at Burger King and they paying me minimum wage, and then I'm a call center.
Hey, that might be the dictation though. Like, what if they start giving jobs higher wages for people to come in?
They already doing it. You
Yeah.
see,
Okay.
Walmart just did.
What, like 20?
They gave like 500,000.
Yeah, 565,000.
What?
$1 more each hour. So they said, you get $1, you get $1, you get $1.
Shout out to Oprah.
Shout out to Oprah. So
Shout out to Walmart.
shout out to Walmart. But at the end of the day, is that enough for
With the inflation.
with rising inflation and all this technology evolving? Is that enough to keep people fed, keep people happy, keep people healthy?
Hell no, that ain't enough. It ain't enough.
Exactly. So
Let's make for
I think the economy is in flux. I think the stock market right now, currently, is okay. Currently.
So the stock market is at patient first. It's not at the emergency room.
You could say that.
Okay.
You
that's
could
a
say
great
that.
analogy.
Thank you.
You could say that. I give you that. So anything else on this topic?
I we just gotta see. Look, like I said a couple podcasts ago, y'all go check that out. It's gonna get spooky.
Let me ask you this: